The Warriors and the Timberwolves are going to be meeting in the second round of the 2025 NBA playoffs, which means we are going to get another amazing series of basketball. We're going to get a chance to see Anthony Edwards continue to grow up to become a man right in front of us and take down Steph Curry in the playoffs right after taking down LeBron James, Luka Doncic, last year taking out Jokic. And then at the same time, we're going to see Steph Curry continue his journey up the mountain trying to get himself in the GOAT conversation. So in this video, we'll be talking about key matchups, key victories, and then a few intangibles and storylines that'll be happening while this series goes on. Now, just like any other series, the matchups between these two teams will dictate so much of how it will go, which in this series means how will Jaden McDaniels fare against Steph Curry, and what will happen on those switches when Gobert is pulled out against Steph Curry, and how much of the narrative will surround Steph Curry's hand. If you watch the Rockets series, there's no doubt Steph Curry still got it. He's the only person in that series to record a double-double as he did in Game 7 with those 10 rebounds, but the reality is he's also not shooting like the Steph Curry we know, and again, he did shoot 50% in Game 7, but he just wasn't letting them fly like we're used to, but again, part of that was because of Rockets defense and how aggressive they were. The Wolves really do have a good defense, and so much of it has to do with the size they have at the point and shooting guard positions, and we'll see how that pans out. Drink your water. I think a major part of this series is going to come down to the supporting roles as well. People like Buddy Hield, Naz Reid, they all had such a massive impact. If Buddy Hield plays anything like he did in Game 7, the Warriors are going to be very hard to beat, but at the same time, if Jaden McDaniels plays anything like he did in some of those Lakers games, they're going to be very hard to beat. Now, one of the most fun matchups could very well come down to Jimmy Butler versus Anthony Edwards, because both of these guys are absolutely awesome at what they do. And that matchup's going to be important on so many different levels, because obviously the more energy Jimmy expends trying to guard Anthony Edwards, the less he can do for the offense of the Warriors when Steph Curry's on the bench, which again is a major part of why they got Jimmy Butler, because he keeps that offense humming while Steph Curry gets to rest. And then there's the question of, will Anthony Edwards be the playmaker he was in that Lakers series? Will he continue to make the right read? And then you're going to have the matchup of Draymond versus Julius Randle versus Rudy Gobert, which is always an interesting matchup because again, Draymond Green is not a big guy. It's just the way he uses his body, the IQ, the way he understands basketball. Draymond Green is really going to have to go out of his way to make sure that they don't get absolutely dominated on these boards. Hit that subscription button and turn on notifications. And this seems like a very similar matchup to what we had before with the Lakers and the Wolves, and even the Warriors and the Rockets, right? Like we have a very small team and then a team with the tower on their team that can get every rebound. But the difference here is that the Warriors, they're used to playing small. The Lakers for the past 7 years have had Anthony Davis, and no matter what you want to say, you're not a small lineup with Anthony Davis in year 5. So the Lakers really didn't have that much experience playing without a big guy on the court like that, but the Warriors, it's kind of what they do. Now the keys to victory for the Warriors are pretty straightforward. The off-ball movement of Steph Curry is going to be massive, but also very questionable against a massive team like the Wolves. He's going to run into some serious walls if he's not careful. And the way the Wolves decide to guard Steph Curry will be massive. Are they going to allow the swishes to happen? Are they going to allow Gobert to go out there on an island? I mean, he did have some success against those Lakers. In fact, he actually fared pretty well. But at the same time, this is Steph Curry we're talking about, and if you remember the Olympics, I don't care how tall you are, he's going to shoot over you. Or are they going to push through the screens and allow the pick and roll to open up? I guess it's going to be pick your poison, and we'll see how it plays out. And like we said before, the Warriors, they're going to need someone like Pozinski or Buddy Hield to step up and really contribute because they need that third score. There were stretches in the Warriors-Rockets series where the Warriors went absolutely cold, and that can't happen against a team like the Wolves. And then the last key to victory is going to be managing their health and their energy, because there's no doubt going 7 games with the Rockets is going to cost the Warriors to a certain extent, especially with their older bodies, but I really feel that if they can keep those minutes to under 40, they'll be fine. But if Steph Curry has to go in those 42, 44 minutes, I could feel like it's going to start to add up as the series goes on. Then there's the Timberwolves, and their keys to victory is going to be absolutely utilize their size to their advantage. Get offensive rebounds. Get all the defensive rebounds. Don't allow the Warriors to get positioning. Don't allow Steph Curry to just get Gobert out there on a one-on-one, push through those screens, get in his face. And when Rudy Gobert does get pulled out there, do what he did against Austin Reeves. Do what he did against LeBron James. Get in their face and stop them. Anthony Edwards has to continue to make the right reads, to continue to mature, because the way he's playing like an older Kobe and Michael, where they finally learned to trust their teammates, and that should terrify the league. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the Warriors most likely will not be playing Anthony Edwards the same way the Lakers did. Everyone knows Luka Doncic is a liability on defense, especially those Timberwolves. So what they did was get him into a switch, attack him, rinse and repeat. It's that simple. For whatever reason, the Lakers did not want to give Luka help or allow him to kind of switch off and have his original defender jump on with kind of like a hedge in return. But the Warriors, they aren't going to do that. They've won championships off the idea that they have to protect Steph Curry on defense on those types of switches. So Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, they're going to be super quick on jumping back onto Anthony Edwards, while Steph Curry goes back to Conley, DiVincenzo, or whoever he was guarding before. And Julius Randle continues to be the X factor. When he finally got it together, when he finally figured out his role on this team, they became a completely different team. me. So the fact that the Warriors went 3-1 against the Wolves this regular season really has no bearings on this season whatsoever, especially when you consider how late they got Jimmy Butler. And there's no doubt, as we said before, Rudy Gobert and Draymond Green, they're going to have their moments, and the Wolves are going to have to respond accordingly. Do not let Draymond Green get into your head. Do not play into that Warriors psychology game because it will cost you. At best, you're going to get Draymond Green kicked out of the game, and that's a massive blow to the Warriors. At worst, you're going to get your best player kicked out of the game, and then you're going to give the game right to the Warriors. Now, the Warriors did seem to figure things out in Game 7, what to do with Steven Adams. Hopefully, they take that same strategy moving forward into this series because Steven Adams, he's an awesome guy, he's an awesome player, but he's not Rudy Gobert. And it's not just Rudy Gobert you have to worry about, it's Naz Reid as well. You have these other players who are very athletic, very tall, and securing every rebound this series is going to be so important. Now, what's so much fun about a series like this is that you have so many superstars involved and so many people who really want to push their legacies, enhance what they've done in the playoffs, which means you're going to be getting some of the best players in NBA history putting forth maximum effort, and I don't think there's anything more awesome than that. We've been talking for so long about who the face of the league is going to be after Steph Curry, after LeBron James, and Anthony Edwards was kind of on the cusp of being in that conversation, but what he's done already in these playoffs this year, he is absolutely making his case to be the face of the league. And can you imagine Anthony Edwards' legacy if he started off his first championship run by taking down LeBron and Steph Curry on his way there? It's like we're seeing in real time in front of us the old guard passing the torch to the new guard. And then you have Jimmy Butler's return to Minnesota, and if you remember what happened while he was there, he left on a very sour note, and while the team isn't exactly constructed the same way it was then, there's no doubt Jimmy Butler's gonna have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder to want to prove their front office that they really messed up when they didn't prioritize him. Then you have Rudy Gobert versus Draymond Green, which we all know Rudy Gobert and Draymond Green do not like each other. Draymond Green has quite literally put him on in a stranglehold and a headlock on national television. He's gone on TNT and talked trash about Gobert. There's no love lost there, and that's certainly going to play out here. I mean, have you seen Draymond's antics this playoffs? They've been 12 out of 10. He's really going at everyone, and it's definitely going to see some sparks fly here. So this is a really interesting prediction for me because I really want the Warriors to go all the way and win a championship, for Steph to get 5, just to really just make the GOAT conversation go a little bit crazy, turn it on its head. But the reality is my brain and my heart are telling me that I think the Wolves are going to win this in 6 games. I know that sounds crazy, but I feel like there were stretches that the Warriors just could not come up with any answers for the Rockets, stretches that in a series like this, it's going to cost you the entire series. And I very well could be wrong. We could see the Warriors really tighten up on defense, continue to come together, because again, they're only going to keep getting better because they've only been together a few months now. But it seems like right now the Wolves are just too deep, too big, and it looks like they're just on too much of a streak right now to be stopped, and I feel like that's what's going to happen. I want the Warriors to win, but I think the Wolves are going to, because this just might be the year of Anthony Edwards versus Jason Tatum in the finals. And talk about a battle for the face of the league. Man, the NBA script writers, they're doing pretty good this season. Well, let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts? Who's going to be the MVP of this series? Who do you think is going to win? And what do you think will be the most important element throughout the entire series? All right, that's enough yapping for today. Go out there and do something great. Pick one of these videos if you want. You should.